still, so much time has passed. We're going into year 4. And Anthony Fauci's rat is not under the prison for all the lies that he sold America. And here we are. Now, we know that Rand Paul has been the one congressman that's been on his ass, right? And he had some interesting things to say. You know, there's a subcommittee right now that is that Rand Paul, I believe that's what it is, subcommittee that is kind of in charge of trying to get to the bottom of a lot of what happened during these crazy years. Now let's look at this real quick. And I'm going to watch the video actually first, and then we'll kind of go into some of these things. Let's listen in on it.
Anthony Fauci has some of the most famous sparring sessions over the last few years. Now you're going to go behind closed doors. He has to go behind closed doors in front of your committee. What is your question? What are some things that you want answers to?
You know, the biggest lie from Anthony Fauci was that the United States government, and with his approval, did not fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan. We now have the Department of Energy, the FBI, and actually a group of scientists at the CIA all agree that in all likelihood, COVID-19 came from a lab in Wuhan that was funded by U.S. taxpayer dollars. Anthony Fauci has continued to deny this, and I believe that to be a lie, and I hope he's challenged on that. But it also is even worse than lying about funding it. There's supposed to be a safety committee that's supposed to review dangerous research on this. It was set up in 2017 when they began funding this dangerous research at the behest of Anthony Fauci, who's always been in favor of gain-of-function research. When they began funding it again, they set up a safety committee. Well, guess what? This research in Wuhan skipped that safety committee. They never went there, and the only way that happens is with Anthony Fauci's approval. I've been trying for 3 years to get the NIH to reveal the gain-of-function deliberations. I know they talk about it. I know they have a weekly meeting on dangerous research. And yet,
by the way, so that pretty much ended it. And what the article here by the New York Post actually goes into is how surprised he is that, let's say, Fauci doesn't recall some of the early days of the of COVID, right? The same time frame where he was saying that, flip-flop obviously on the mask situation, and if you look at his attitude before it really, became maybe politically advantageous, to say the opposite, he was saying the opposite of what we know Anthony Fauci's positions to be. Now, with this whole gain-of-function thing that Rand is talking about, for those of you that don't know what it is, it sounds like literally what it sounds like, and it's this idea that they're doing research to, in some cases, improve the lethality of, or viability, or that's not the proper term, of more how infectious, let's say, something is. That's the whole point of the research, right? Which is why it's very, very dangerous, especially if that stuff, let's say, gets out. You're going to research something and you made it more lethal, and then that got out and infected a bunch of people, and something crazy happened. Now, again, we know that the COVID-19 stuff was largely a sham. A lot of you guys came to my videos by way of discussing that. But Anthony Fauci is, I don't want to depress people, but one thing I can say is this. Anthony Fauci I see him as a criminal for sure. But the fact that he was able, or is able, and it's really, he's shielded not just by necessarily the NIH, but more so just working for the government. And I guess that's what it allows you to do. It allows you to sell people on an absolute lie that, people are clinging to, right? And I think that's what, this is sort of plausible deniability that he, I believe, thinks he can cling on to. And that is that because he's not necessarily in a position to demand or mandate that people do something which may destroy people's livelihoods, it was still under his advice. People were listening to you and your recommendations as they went and did that. And you sold people on what is a sham. And the fact, again, that the man isn't under the prison, still, after all of this, says a lot. Alpha Core #1's pre-order is live. Written by the legendary Chuck Dixon and penciled by Joe Bennett. Visit Rippaverse.com to grab a copy and any of the merchandise items. Be sure to also check out the animated trailer for the campaign, which is the latest project from Rippaverse Studios. Y'all be easy.